Davis, good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Mark.
You bet. So just to recap, if it's anybody's first time tuning in,
Yeah.
Ripple Effect is all about just engaging with individuals that I see as making positive change in the community. I call it simply interviews with change makers. And today, you oversee the college ministry at North Phoenix Church.
Yes.
And we're going to dive into that.
Awesome.
And leading up to that, though, I always like to get a really good sense, an idea of who you are, your background, kind of really what brought you to where you're at today, and then dive into the work that you're doing there. So as much as you want to share your early years, your experiences, kind of give us some background on who you are and lead us up to today.
For sure. Well, thanks for having me, Mark. This is an awesome podcast, what you guys do. And so super cool. Just excited to be here. I had the privilege of growing up in a Christian home. One of the greatest blessings of my life was my parents living out their faith and taking me and my brother and sister to church. And at a young age, about 6 years old, I don't exactly remember what the pastor was preaching at our church, but I know he preached the gospel because I came home and just in my bedroom at 6 years old, I just was thinking about the gospel that he preached, and it made sense. I was like, yeah, I'm a sinner. I've hit my brother. I've lied to my mom. And so I know I've messed up, and I believe there's a God. So I repent of my sin and put my faith in the Lord. And I know a lot of people would say like there was a kind of a moment when you're a kid where you thought you put your faith in Jesus, but it wasn't really real. But for me, it was real. Like I knew what I was doing, and I got baptized a couple years later. But a big part of my story is we moved around a lot growing up. I was born in central Illinois, and then when I was about 5, we moved to Ohio, a really small town. And then when I was 10, we moved to a suburb of Chicago. And then when I was about 15, we moved to Nashville, Tennessee. So about every 5 years, we moved. A lot of people were like, "Is your dad in the military?" He's just an accountant, but his company just kind of transferred him a little bit. And so we moved a lot. And that was a challenge for me growing up because, I would kind of get my life settled a little bit in one place and then we would move. And so there was some adjusting that I had to kind of figure out in each city that I think helped me learn to be adaptive in a sense. And it worked a lot on my trust of the Lord because I had to. It was like there was no other option. And learned a lot through that. But moving to Nashville I thought was going to be hard. Just between my freshman and sophomore year of high school. But that was actually the best move that we did as a family. Love Nashville. Hendersonville, Tennessee is the town just kind of 20 minutes north of Nashville. And that's where I actually met my wife, Claire. We're high school sweethearts. So we started dating our junior year. We actually, just yesterday was our 8-year dating anniversary. So
Nice.
we've been dating for 8 years.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. We've been married for about 2.5 years. We just had our first daughter, Eden. So
that's awesome.
been a huge blessing. So, moved to Nashville, and played football in high school, and I wasn't anticipating playing college football. In my mind, there was just like D1. There was just Alabama and Georgia, the big schools. I was like, I can't play that. But started getting recruited for like some smaller schools, and the door opened up for me to go to the University of Mount Union up in the Northeast Ohio. And so me and my girlfriend Claire at the time, we did long distance through that. So if anyone's doing long distance dating right now, it's possible. You can stick it out. It's hard, but it's possible. And there was, and we can get into it now or maybe later, but there was a lot of experiences in college that really shaped who I am today as a man and a pastor. But that's a little bit about me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where exactly in Ohio were you guys?
So living or when I went to college?
Living.
So we were living in Willard, Ohio, super small town, about 45 minutes south of Sandusky, kind of where Cedar Point is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I asked because I've got family from Ohio, from Cleveland all the way down to Dayton. So
yeah, awesome. Super cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned the stories that shape you and the experiences that shape you 100%. I'd love to hear about it because it's going to lead into our conversation later.
Yeah. So I went to go play football up at Mount Union, and that transition from high school football to college football was very tough for me because you go your senior year from being the guy on your team, like you're the captain, you're really good, you're all conference, and then you go to college, and usually you're at the bottom now, and it's like you haven't experienced that since middle school, so it's a hard kind of mental thing, and it was a hard transition honestly for me from going from high school football to college football, just like skill wise, like it was difficult, and I actually wanted to quit. I called Claire at the time, and I was like, she'd probably be the only person that would say like, yeah, quit, come home to me, because she was still in Nashville going to Lipscomb University. But I called her and I was like, hey, I just don't feel like this is the thing for me. And she said, no, you said you're going to do it, so you're going to do it. And I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, the one person that I thought would be like, yes, come back to me. She was like, no. And looking back, that was a big moment in our relationship where it was like, I knew I wanted to marry her, but I really knew in that moment because she put her needs, or she put my needs in front of her own in that moment because she knew what was best for me. So, I stuck it out, but even a couple months later, near the end of the season, I was about to quit again. I was like, still, it just wasn't working out for me. And so I was about to quit a second time. And I felt like that was where the Lord led me to go to college. I had been praying about it and I was just confused because I thought that's where I was supposed to be, but then it doesn't feel like that's working out. And so I prayed one night. I said, God, if this is where you want to be, please make it clear to me that this is it. And he doesn't always owe us an answer like that, but literally the next day I wake up and I have a text from the president of FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes at our college. I had been going there for a little bit and he's like, hey, can we get lunch? So I was like, sure, we get lunch. And he was a senior. And like I said, I was a freshman. And he said, hey, when I graduate, we want you to be the next president of FCA. And I was like, okay, that's pretty clear. Felt like sign from the Lord. Like, okay, this is where you're supposed to be. So I was like, yep, I'll do that, and was looking forward to that sophomore year. Well, that spring that he asked me was 2020. So 3 weeks later, COVID, and we go home and everything's obviously kind of crazy. And our school reopened that following fall, kind of all the social distancing stuff, but we did reopen, went back to campus, had football again. Football was getting a little better, but my main focus was FCA. I was like, this is bigger than football. Like this is the gospel, it's eternal impact.
Yep.
And I was the president, but there was other leaders of the club. And we were kind of having like a leader meeting, a little Bible study. And there was one leader in the club who I honestly don't remember how it came up, but he started talking about some of his beliefs. Didn't believe that Jesus was the only way. Didn't believe that the Bible was really true. It was more of just kind of some stories. And then he also said he had a very different view on marriage than what we believed and what we believe the Bible taught as a club. And I was confused because I wasn't like purposely sheltered growing up, but I'd only really been around Christians that believe what I believe. So I thought if you call yourself a Christian, then you must believe every single thing I believe. I was kind of naive and ignorant in that fact. And I was confused because here's a guy that said he was a Christian, but had very different views than me that seemed to go directly against what I believed was the gospel and was Christianity. So I'm confused, and I have a couple conversations with him and come to find out his dad's a Methodist minister that preaches those things, which, gave me a lot of clarity because I was like, man, if someone told me everything my dad taught me growing up wasn't true, I wouldn't want to believe it either. So I get it. But at the same time, the things you believe go literally directly against our statement of faith as a club. And so you're welcome to keep coming to the club, but we do need to ask you to step down as a leader of the club. He did not like that. Did not like that decision at all. And so he actually went to the school, which our school is a little bit more liberal, kind of on that side. And I just went there to play football. So to make a long story short, the school made us both, me and that other kid, share what we believed about marriage to the students. And then they had to vote on who could stay on campus as a club.
To the entire student body, not just FC.
Well, it was the club.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the club. To the students of the club. And about 100 students. And we had to present to them why we believe what we believe. And they had to vote, which gets to stay on campus as a club. And I was really praying about it. I really had faith, like God could move. But honestly, inside I was like, I don't think this is happening. Like, I think he's going to win the vote. Like,
sure.
But by God's grace and favor, like we won the vote and we were able to stay on campus as a club. And then I thought it was like we were good. And that was the spring semester of my sophomore year. And then we go home for summer and I'm thinking, okay, when I get back junior year, like we're going to hit the ground running with FCA. I'm getting more playing time in football. Like everything's going great. I get back for football camp my junior year. Now the school administration is trying to shut us down because they don't agree with what we're saying about marriage and
marriage specifically.
Okay. And so now I'm kind of fighting them with it. And, it's the school administration versus a 20-year-old at that point. Yep. And they're saying like, hey, we're going to shut you down. And I get FCA involved in national office. And then they're like, if you do that, we're going to sue. And they're getting into this whole conversation. And so because it's kind of a long story short there, we were able to stay on campus. And it felt like a testing period almost, where it was like it almost felt like, man, are you going to stand up for your faith? Are you going to stand up for what you believe in? Are you going to live for me? And we did the best we could. And then it felt like God blessed that because then kind of the beginning of my junior year, that was, September 2021 to the end of my senior year, I graduated a semester early. So that was December 2022. We saw 130 students come to know Jesus
Mm.
at FCA. 64 students got baptized at a local church we were connected to. And it was just an incredible experience. Our school had 2,000 students. So it wasn't like, that was like 5% of the
Yeah,
university
it's
got saved,
substantial.
which was like crazy.
Yeah.
And I was getting my degree in math. I did get my degree. Like I have my undergraduate
You're
degree
one of
just
those
in
guys?
pure, yeah, I'm
Math
one of those
guy?
guys. Just I'm a math guy. I know I'm as nerdy as it gets. And I was planning on being a math teacher and a football coach. Like that was my plan. I was going to go back to Hendersonville, Tennessee. I was
Yep.
going to work at my alma mater. Like that was my thing. But kind of in the midst of all that FCA stuff, I'm like, I can't imagine doing anything else with my life than like getting to actually share the gospel. And we need godly men and women being teachers in the public
Yeah.
schools. Like we need that. But you can't preach the gospel. And so for me, it was too much of a calling for me to let go of. And so it was through all that I said, you know what, I feel called to ministry. And when I graduated, went to a church to do a residency program, and then found my way here to Phoenix.
So I didn't ask the salient question, which is what position did you play in football?
I was actually a right tackle. I know I don't look like a right tackle.
Okay.
I've lost a lot of weight since I got done playing. Once I got off the unlimited meal plan, it just kind of fell off.
Totally.
So, I was a kind of a skinnier right tackle. I used my speed to my advantage. But I was my senior year. I was a starting right tackle
Okay.
on our football team.
You're tall. How tall are you?
6'5".
Okay.
Yes. So
All right.
pretty tall. And I was 260 when
Yeah, that's
when we were
that's
playing.
substantial.
Yeah. So it was fun. I enjoyed it.
So talk to me about, you mentioned the transition into ministry.
Mhm.
How did you find your way to Phoenix, Arizona, and eventually to North Phoenix? What did that look like?
Yeah. So right out of college, it's kind of crazy. So me and my wife, we both graduated college December 16th, 2022. I played in the national championship for football on December 17th. 2 weeks later on New Year's Eve, we got married. Next day, we go to Mexico for our honeymoon. We get back on a Sunday night, and then Monday, we pack up the car and drive to Dallas. So boom, boom, boom. We just thought we'd get all the life change out of the way
Nice.
in one fell swoop.
Okay.
And so we moved down to Dallas, had a connection to a church there, and they had a great residency program that was in partnership with Southwestern Baptist Seminary.
Yep.
And so that's where I'm in my last semester, so almost done with my MDiv. So we're finishing it up.
Nice.
But that was kind of my plan, was to go there, and really great experience. Loved the people there. I learned a lot. It was one of those things when you're getting into ministry, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And it was like great church, great people, but there's just kind of some things where it's like, yeah, I don't see us here kind of long term. After about a year and a half, just kind of me and my wife were like, is this where we're supposed to be? Should we really plant roots here? Or is there somewhere else that God wants us to be? My brother, while this is happening, is a student at Grand Canyon University right here in Phoenix. And I come to visit him, and I asked him, what church are you going to? And he's like, oh, I'm going to this church called North Phoenix Church. It's right by campus. I love it. Pastor Noe's just awesome preaching. And I was like, oh, it's like awesome. He's like, yeah, we're looking for a college pastor, Davis. You should come do it. And I was like, okay, like great. Just kind of brushed it off. Didn't really think anything of it. And then he kind of kept pestering me about it. He's like, no, I really think you should come here. Like, this would be awesome if you were here. I think it would be great for you guys. And he honestly kind of made the connection to me and the church. And that's kind of what started the conversation for us coming down here. And so I had, just a couple conversations with Pastor Noe and some other, leaders on staff that were looking to hire this position. It had been open for a little bit. They were just kind of looking for just a specific type of thing for the position, specific person. And so I had the conversation, and just one thing led to another. We were really praying, like, man, God, is this where you want us to be? Like, because we were ready to go all in somewhere.
Yeah.
And it was like, is this where we can go all in? Like, can we plant deep roots here to really use the gospel to make a difference in the lives of people in this city, wherever it may be? And the church had us come out kind of on a visit, kind of interview trip, see the church, see the city, and all that stuff. And we're in the service, and Pastor Noe knew I was there, so I know he was doing this for me. But it was true. In the service, he was like, hey, if you're a college student, would you mind just raising your hand real quick? And just hundreds of hands went up.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I just had this vision of the verse, and I think it's in the Psalms, just like they were sheep without a shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't need me. They just need somebody. But I have the opportunity. I've been given this opportunity to potentially do it. And it was in that moment where it was like, yeah, there's just such a need here. And I believe God changed my life in college. When I decided to go all in with him, that's when everything in my life changed. And I was like, if I can share my story, if I can use what God's done in my life to share with these college students, I'm like, I'm just one guy. If I could share it with all of them, and
Yeah.
then all of them could go all in, like it'd be revival. They could change the world. Like I believe college students can and are changing
Yep.
the world. And so it was in that moment that me and my wife realized we're like, yeah, this is where we're called to be. So accepted the job, and we packed up the U-Haul and drove the 24-hour drive from Dallas, Texas to Phoenix. And yeah, we're absolutely loving it. It's been an amazing experience. We love North Phoenix, just love the church, the vision, all of it, the ministry. And so it's just been a great opportunity, and we're just so thankful for it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what year did you actually move out here?
It was last year, so we're not even at a year yet.
Okay.
So we got here in October 2024, so it's almost been a year.
So this is your first summer in Phoenix?
This is my first summer in Phoenix.
How's it been?
Yes, we are adjusting. We're adjusting. Luckily, we have a pool, so we've been
Yeah.
using that. I will say, I feel like some people have been very dramatic about it. It's not as bad as I was expecting. The dry heat, like I actually like the summer here better than Dallas.
Totally.
The humidity in Dallas, I thought was way worse. So
Yeah.
I am actually kind of thankful. I've liked it. I'm like, I am wondering, like, when's the change going to happen? When are we going to get back to that good weather? But I feel like we're close.
Yeah, it's always a couple weeks away. Like that's the standard.
It's always a couple weeks.
You're right.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like this summer actually hasn't been all that bad. This hasn't been a bad summer.
That's what people say.
I can remember back, what was it, 30 years ago, we had 122, 123 degrees one summer.
Goodness.
Yeah,
That's
it's a dry heat. That's
Yeah.
what you got to keep telling yourself.
It's a dry heat. Yeah.
So introduce us to the collective, which is the church, or excuse me, which is the college group at North Phoenix. Like,
Yes.
give us the rundown on what that is and what that looks like.
Yeah, for sure. So, Pastor Noah, he's the lead pastor, loves college students, so passionate about it, has such a deep heart for them, and he connects so well with college students. And so ever since he got here, I think it's almost 10 years ago now, from Arkansas, he just had a heart for them. And I think college students know when you actually love them and are actually trying to equip them, or if you're
They
just
can
like
sense
using
genuine.
them. Yeah, they can sense the authenticity. And he's so genuine. He's so authentic. And so like college students just flocked to him. And we walked in, there was a great guy, our student pastor now, Paul Hayden. He was kind of leading the college ministry when I got here as a resident, and he was just absolutely killing it. Like he's from Phoenix, All-American at ACU basketball, like just awesome guy, awesome story. And he did a great job with it. And so he had it in a good spot, several hundred students that were coming. And so it was really just a great foundation for me to kind of come in. I felt very thankful that he was there to kind of set that groundwork. And so, I finished out, I kind of came in midway through the fall last year, finished out this semester, and just was really praying going into this past spring semester, like, God, really, we just really want to see you move.
Mm-hmm.
Like we just kind of theology wise, I just love the idea of God's glory. It's a topic in the Bible I just love. I could read about it, talk about it all day. And I just was like, Lord, let us see your glory in this place. Like, let us just experience your glory. Let us be in your presence. And our third week at the collective in the spring, I gave a message. And at the end, I said, if you've never been baptized, in a sense, it's a betrayal to Jesus, because you're saying you on the inside that you follow him, but publicly you've never said it. You've never been like, I'm going all in, and it's time to stop betraying him publicly through that, and it's time to go all in. And I believe, and I just said, hey, if that's you, I want you to come forward and sign up, pen to paper right now. Next week at the collective, I'm going to get baptized. And we had, I think, 44 students come up in front of everybody and say, you know what, I need to get baptized. And it was amazing. The next week at the collective, these students get baptized, and I give a 20-minute message. So they get baptized first, and then I give like about a 20-minute message, and I share the gospel, and I say, these people have experienced life change. If you haven't, but you want to, like, stand up right now to accept Jesus. And we had like 20 students stand up, and we had like an additional 22 students get baptized. They're like
On the spot,
just spontaneous. They're like, why would I wait? Like, we had my wife and our Grace, she's on our college team. Like, they were kind of helping everybody get set. And they're like, hold my boots. I got to get, like, they're getting baptized in their jeans. Like,
That's awesome.
Like, hold my Ugg boots. Like, I just got to get in. I'll put it was just,
cool, man. It's like a real old school revival.
Honestly, it was. And it wasn't really planned. Like, we knew we were baptizing those 44, but we didn't know all that was going to happen. Yeah. And, Pastor Noe really trained me up in the sense, he's like, tell these students before the baptism to like, tell them like, hey, this is the first message you'll ever preach. Like, who are the 10 people in your life that need to hear your story? Bring those people with you. So all these people that were getting baptized just brought everyone with them. We couldn't even fit in our chapel anymore. And then, so the next week, so I get up there at the end of the service. I'm like, we can't even fit in here, guys. So we're going to go next week outside into our outdoor amphitheater. And so it was just like 1 week after that, it was just Lord was sending people, and it wasn't us. Like I'm not that good. Our college team isn't that good. Like it was just honestly a God thing, just to see him working in that way in these college students, and they're leading it. Like they're the ones that are bringing their friends. Like they're the ones that are like, man, my life got changed at the collective. You need to experience this. Like you need to experience what God's doing. And so, you know, we finished out the spring, and it just every week it just felt like there was more people coming, more stories of life change, people confessing sin that had been holding them back. We had people like confessing things to us they had never told anyone in their life, like just addictions to pornography that just for decades that they've had. We've had people confess abortions that they've had, that they felt like there was, if they had told anyone that, they felt like I would have been rejected.
Yep.
Like there was no hope for them. And we just told them, like, God doesn't even hesitate at your past. He doesn't even flinch. Like when, like he's literally he can forgive you of anything. He can give you a new life. And these people they just keep coming. And we really try to create this spot of authenticity at the collective. That's something me and everyone on our college team really believes in. A big part of my story was an addiction to pornography. And I share that pretty regularly. I mean, 95% of the people that are in that auditorium have seen pornography.
Yeah.
Like they're all straight, men and women. Like it's not just a guy
It's
thing.
everywhere.
And so it's like and it's not always easy for me to share my story. It's becoming more easy because God set me free from it. But when I do that, it leads them to finding freedom too. And so we've just seen this amazing growth, and it's really God. Like it's him just bringing these people, and we're just trying to be faithful. Honestly, our prayer is like Luke 10:2 at this point. It's like the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few.
Yeah.
We're trying to, like, we need our students. We're like always trying to push our students. Like we need more of you to serve. We need more of you to step up, lead groups, all these things. Cause our college team is pretty small for the size of our ministry, honestly. And so, which is great because it actually forces us to live out the call in Ephesians to equip the people for the work of the ministry. And sometimes that's hard for me. I have control issues. And so sometimes it's hard for me to give control up over to other people and students. I mean, it's like I'm giving these 19, 20-year-olds like, hey, I need you to lead out on this. And sometimes that's hard for me because I'm a control freak.
And they're 19 and 20 years old.
Yeah, they're 19, 20 years old. And so, but when I've done that, I don't know why I'm just a slow learner, I guess, because every time I've done it, God's taken it, and those students they're just awesome. Yeah. Like they love the ministry, they love what God's doing, they love Jesus, they love the gospel, and they're the ones that are really changing the world, changing this city. And so, yeah, I don't know if that is helpful.
No, it's fantastic. I'm just going to jump ahead real quick because you mentioned how big it is and how quickly it's grown. Mm-hmm. Where are you guys at today in terms of student body in your programs?
Yeah. We don't love talking about the numbers just because sometimes you get caught up in it.
Totally.
But it's between 1,100 students that are coming on a weekly basis.
Which is huge, it's substantial.
It is a large crowd.
But I mean, you make the very clear and appropriate distinction. It's not you, it's not the team, it's God, which is 100%. I always agree with that. That's what everybody, I think any leader in any ministry capacity, that should always be their position. The moment it turns inwards, things get really, really dangerous in a hurry. But also, you said something earlier that I like hearing from leadership, which is people gravitate towards authentic leadership and sincere and transparent leadership. And you sharing your story gives people permission to talk about those things, to your point, right? That's why it's so powerful. As hard as it is for you, I think you said it's getting easier, but as hard as it was, that gives people permission, like, oh, we can talk about this because I'm struggling with this too. Yeah. Right? And it's the silence that is the worst part. Everybody bottles it up. They don't talk about it. It festers, it grows, and it causes division and problems. So you kind of touched on this a little bit, but what is your ethos or methodology when it comes to preaching and teaching these students? How do you figure out what you're going to talk about, and what have you been talking about? Yeah, for sure. And in my view, there's three things that I want college students to walk away with after a semester of our preaching. There's as I look at the semester as a whole, there's really three things I want them to walk away from. I want them to know and love Jesus more. Like, we're going to spend a month every semester talking about Jesus, like some type of series that's on Jesus. And we always start with it. If anyone from the collective is going to ever listen to this, you can guarantee the first month of every semester, it will be some series from the gospel. We're going to start with Jesus, who he is, what he's done, how he's working in your life. Cause that's the crux. Yep. That's the core of it. So, that's a big part of it. I also, something that changed my life was my home church in Hendersonville, Tennessee, Long Hollow Church. I still love that church. And the pastor there, Robbie Gallaty, ever since I started going,
just the insights that he has in the Bible that I've learned from him. I've read these stories my whole life. I mean, I've grown up in the church, and he's sharing these insights with me that I've never heard before. Like that our Old Testament to New Testament connections, like just these amazing insights. And I know for me, I liked the Bible, but I don't know if I loved it because it was like, it just kind of felt like books to me.
Yeah.
When he showed me these things, the Bible came alive. Like, and it was like, this is a living book. This is a powerful book. This is really the word of God. So that taught in me this desire, man, I want people to walk away from the collective loving the Bible as much as I do. I really try to show them things that they haven't always seen. Like they've read it maybe so many times. They maybe didn't understand the significance of it. They didn't understand the connection of what God's really doing in the whole arc of this history of redemption. And so I really want people to walk away for a love of the Bible. And then the third thing is really just applicable messages.
Yeah.
Like we want it to be applicable. And I think sometimes people think like, oh, you can't be this super exegesis, word by word, preacher and be applicable. I honestly haven't found that to be the case. I think you can do both. I think you can go word by word, you can go line by line and teach like, this is what it means. This is the theology of it. This is what God's trying to teach us here, but then really make it clear, how does that apply to us today? Right. And so those are the three things as I'm thinking, how do I preach to these college students? It's just Jesus, it's the Bible, and then it's application. So that I feel like when you have those three, that's really the formula for changed lives.
Yeah. The college age students that you work with, what's the range? The age range?
18 to 23 year olds.
Okay.
Yep.
So my next question is that age range, what are the spiritual, the social issues, the personal issues, like what are they coming to you with that you guys are helping them out with? What does that look like today?
Yeah.
I've got 2 daughters myself.
Yeah.
One of them just graduated from high school, and I'm curious, like,
Yeah.
what does that look like for them?
Yeah. I would say a lot of them are not anything new. Like it's the same things. It's the temptation for sex. It's the temptation for alcohol or drugs. And really what it is for a lot of them, this is the first time that now that they're on their own, that they have to really, they feel the hole in their heart more than ever before, where it's like, man, I don't have fulfillment from anything of this world. And you go to college, you have all this freedom, which is great. Like college is so fun, but they try all these things of the world that, they don't work.
Yeah.
I'm starting to really grow in this addiction to Celsius energy drinks. I love Celsius. And, I like the taste, I like the size of the can, but really what is the caffeine, right? We love caffeine.
Right.
And caffeine, I just learned this about caffeine, is that when you drink caffeine, it actually blocks the hunger receptors in your body. Like, so you drink it, it makes you feel like you're not hungry anymore, but it's not actually filling you. The moment the caffeine wears off, you're actually hungrier than you were before. And that's what sin is they feel this hunger in themselves. And so they take this thing other than Jesus that they think will fill them. And for a moment, it feels like it does, because it's blocking that receptor. It's just blocking the hole, but it's not actually filling the hole. And so for me, it's my job, it feels like, is to wake them up. I feel like we have a lot of people that come that actually are not Christians yet. They know they should be in the building. They know that they should be at the collective, but they don't maybe know why. Because I'm trying to wake them up.
Yeah.
Like, this is not filling you. Like, and you're gonna get married, and then you're still gonna have that addiction to pornography.
Right.
Like that alcoholism's, like those things are gonna lead to a divorce one day. It's gonna ruin your life. But if right now, this is a perfect opportunity for you to go all in. So I would say a lot of the struggles are the ones that have always been. Like, those aren't anything new. But there are some new ones. Like, I would say for guys, man, there is a big problem with sports betting. Like
Really?
Huge.
Okay.
Like, there are so many college students that I know that, like, they are putting all their money on these games. And it's fun, right? Because when you win, I mean, it's gambling, right? It's fun. When you win, you get the money, you get the high, but then they're putting all their money on that. And it's becoming an addiction. And yeah, right now they're betting $5 on games. But then, like with things I just mentioned, you get older, you get a job, you get more money, it's going to turn into more money.
Yep.
So, that's a big issue. Suicide and physical harm. Like, I felt like that was a struggle I would read a lot about, or, you'd kind of see the corny Christian movies like 10, 20 years ago. And it was like, that was always the crux of it. And I felt like, man, I don't know if that's really a big struggle. We consistently will have people that come up. I remember a message from a couple months ago I gave where I told a story about the struggle with suicide of someone. And that resonated with so many people. We had so many people come forward and say, that's currently me. Like, I'm having those thoughts. I'm doing those things. And so, and that was a shock to me.
Yeah.
I was not anticipating people coming up because I didn't like, I don't know what I don't know. I'm not that old. Like this is really like my first like full-time ministry, like really owning a ministry like this. So I'm learning with them.
Yep.
Like I'm just trying to have my open hands, open heart. Like, what are you struggling with? So there's that. And then, I mean, this is the one that a lot of people are talking about today, but it's social media. Like it's an addiction to it. It's an addiction to posting things that you never thought you would, but you want the attention. So now you start posting it. It's a time thing. Like people, I just, man, I'm trying to figure out, how do I spend more time with God? And I'm like, well, can I see your screen time?
Right.
And it's like, you have the time. It's not like you don't have time. And so it's putting those barriers in place. It's really trying to tell people, like, you got to put barriers there, because social media is not bad in and of itself. Like sex is not bad in and of itself. It's when we use it in ways that God doesn't want us to. It's when we use it to go outside of his design. And so he has a bigger plan for those things, that we're able to use podcasts like this on social media to get the gospel out. We're able to preach messages and get a bigger reach than they did 30 years ago. But at the same time, it's an amoral thing, because you can, online and social media, it's amoral because you can use it for great things, but then you can also use it for the terrible things.
Absolutely.
So,
What has been the response, the temperature from the students when you're talking about these things, talking about God's design for marriage, pornography, just sex in general, cohabitation? I know is a big thing. Like, is the temperature in the room pretty receptive? Is it kind of a mix? What is that like?
To be honest, they're shocked.
Really?
They've never heard a pastor talk about these things,
which is good. I mean, that should be the response.
Thing. Yeah, it's a good thing. There's things that are easy for a pastor to kind of confess to the congregation, like from a sermon, right? Because it's like, yeah, that's a sin. I probably shouldn't have done that, but it's not like one of the big sins. Right. So when you hear your pastor like sharing, hey, I was addicted to pornography, and like they're like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you're confessing that now? And we have, like Grace, I mentioned her, she's on our college team. Like she'll share her story to people. And there's things in her life that before Jesus, like they're like, I can't believe someone's like saying these things. Sure. And it connects with them because they're going through it. And there's this, like we talked about, it's the authenticity. And they're like, that's me right now. And a lot of times they'll look at me and they'll be like, I could never be that. Like I could never be the pastor because of what I've done. But that's the beauty of the gospel, is that he can forgive you of anything. He can use anyone if we've fully surrendered him. So there's honestly a shock factor to it. And I don't share, like, and we'll bring up sins that a lot of people don't like talk about a lot, right? Like, are you just consistently buying things on Amazon because you just need more stuff in your life, right? Like, are you eating the extra meal that you don't need? Like, what are you snapping people on Snapchat? Like, what are you sending them? Like, are these pictures that you're going to be ashamed to have to tell your spouse one day? Like, I sent that to them, and they've never thought about it. Right. And because they're in the moment. And like I said earlier, we're trying to wake them up. It's like, man, life is so much bigger. And every time you choose a sin, it's just another delay in your life for what God has for you. So it's honestly shock. But then after they've heard it the first time, then it's a relief every time they hear it, because it's like, oh, okay, I can keep, like I can change, I can grow. And there's not like this pressure that I'm never going to be able to beat the sin. Like I can.
Right. It's not hopelessness.
Yeah. It's not hopelessness anymore. There's hope.
So I know you just came on board, you're still very fresh in it. What is your definition of success for the collective? Where would you like to see it go? What would you like to see it achieve as you look forward, however long God has you there? For
sure. I really love the way Pastor Noe holds the pastors that are overseeing ministries of the church. Sometimes it can be a whole number thing where it's like, man, this is the number of people that you need to hit. And then if you hit it, you're successful. If you don't, then you're not. And I don't know if that's always biblical.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if we have that control always. And this is kind of what because that was one of the big interview questions I had for him. I was like, what is success at North Phoenix?
That's a good question.
And he said, success is you saying, what are you going to do to reach people? What are you going to do to equip people? And you're going to show that to me. And then, hey, this is how many people we think we could reach with that. This is how many people we think we could equip with that. And then whenever it's time to look back and say, hey, how did we do last year, right? It's like, okay, where were we at with the numbers? Where were we at with that? Where were we at with what you said you were going to do? If the numbers maybe aren't where they thought they were going to be, But you said, you know what? I did everything I said I was going to do. That's success. Success is faithfulness. Success is you throwing the net in. God's the one that fills the net with fish. You just throw the net in. And so did you throw the net? If you threw the net, then that's faithfulness. And
Yeah.
so as far as us as a ministry, like what does that look like? It looks like faithfulness. So it's doing what we've said we're going to do. Honestly, it's working hard. Like I love, I learned this quote from my last church I was at: excellence in all things and all things to the glory of God. Like, and excellence isn't perfect, but it is a high standard. It's like, man, we really want to work hard
Yeah.
in what we do. And I think the Lord honors that. And then I also think just prayer. Like we really do devote a lot of time to prayer and praying for God to move, praying to see revival, praying to see God's presence. And so that's through that, right? And I don't know if that's really answered your question, like what is success? And success has really been life change, and then seeing our students lead. And we're seeing more of that. More students are stepping it. We do on campus, kind of what we call connect groups on college campuses. So they're student led. They meet on their college campus in their dorms, and they lead those groups. They talk about the sermon from Sunday. Like, man, this is what Pastor Noe preached. What do you guys think about it? Like, here are some questions. And they lead that. They're facilitating and leading their peers,
awesome.
which is a hard thing to do.
Yep.
And it's scary. Like, we're like, man, I'm going to lead my peers in this. But we're doing our best to equip them. It's like, you can do this. Like, you've been commissioned to do this by Jesus. And so that's success. It's seeing more of these leaders step up. It's seeing more people go on mission, go on our collective mission trips that we're planning. It's seeing those types of things. And when I think you're faithful, I think when you're authentic and when you pray, right? I think God honors that. And he honors it in different ways. Like I don't, it's not like a formula where it's like you do those things and then all these people will definitely show up. But I also think that we're in a unique time. Like we see more people in Gen Z that are coming to know Jesus, that are trying to follow him than ever before. And so we're like, I feel blessed to be in this unique moment that not everyone has had the opportunity. It's also like I said earlier, Pastor Noe, like all these college students a lot of them are already coming to church on Sunday. So it makes my job honestly easy, because it's like, I'm not trying to, it's kind of low hanging fruit because like they're already there, which is the beauty of when a whole church works together to reach people. It's like, it's not like, oh, people are just coming on Wednesday night, they'll never come on Sunday. It's like, no, you try to get them into the whole vision of the church, and it's reaching everyone.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's like this really cool ecosystem. It's how it's supposed to work.
Exactly.
The student leaders that you mentioned that go back to their campuses and lead those groups, are those individuals in the groups that they're leading, are they also students of the collective, or they're just classmates?
Yes and yes. Yeah. So
okay.
they go to the collective. They've been coming for any period of time, and then we'll do what we call connect group leader applications, and people will apply and to lead these groups. And then if they're at the right spot spiritually and spiritually mature to lead these groups, then we're like, yeah, you're a leader. Go start a group on your campus. So yes and yes, they're a part of the collective. They're leaders, but they are students and they're leading their peers. Like we don't have any groups that are young adults or adults that are leading these connect groups. They're all student led. They're all in their dorms. So yeah.
It's cool. You guys are able to take that back to the actual university campus, which, let's be honest, is really ground zero for so much culturally that's happening today.
Yeah.
You mentioned the missions, the outreach, and the missions trips.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about what that looks like. Is that something you guys routinely do? What do you guys do to get your students outside of the classroom and really immersed in the community and the culture?
Yeah. So it's routinely, not yet, but it's going to be, like, just being here for not even a year yet. We they didn't really do any college mission trips, but that's something that when I've gone on mission trips, it's really changed my life. And so and you're also serving others, and I think you're doing what God's told us to do, like take the gospel to the ends of the earth. So it was really kind of a big thing I wanted to do when I first got here, was like, let's start planning these mission trips. So we do have 2 mission trips planned that we're super excited about. We're taking a group to Zambia, Africa over spring break in March. Nice. So we're super excited about that one. And then we're taking a group to San Jose, Costa Rica right after finals in April and May. So we have 2 groups that we're going, and we're starting with these 2, and we're just praying that God would use these. And then hopefully not only would these 2 trips be repetitive every year, but we would be able to have more trips, like multiple spring break trips. Like, man, you're going on this spring break trip. Are you going on this one? And then we keep putting students on mission. And when students go on a mission trip, they grow closer as a team. Mm-hmm. They grow closer to the church and to the leaders of the church, but they also grow in their faith in such a way where it's like, even the students that you thought were all in for your ministry, when they come back from a mission trip, they're going to be even more all in than they already were. So those are some things. We also are starting stuff this year called Serve Saturdays, where it's like just kind of local missions, where we're going to equip people to, get on the Phoenix bus system and just have granola bars and pass them out. Say, hey, how can I pray for you? Right? Go into local places that just to serve and
Yeah.
just to serve the local community and to help continue to grow this idea of living missionally into our ministry philosophy. And it's not, you don't have to go across the world. You can do it right here. And then hopefully they do it in college. It'll become a regular rhythm for them throughout their life.
Totally. The mission trips that you're doing in Costa Rica and abroad, what is the focus of those? Is it really just like blessing the local community that you're there? Is it also an evangelism component? What does that
It's
look like?
both. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're both of those trips will look similar. They'll be obviously culturally like specific to what that culture needs and that city needs. Africa will be serving. It's called Northrise University. It's a college there, but they have a lot of kids that live by the university. So we're going to be doing a VBS there to help serve those kids and share the gospel there. They also have a huge ministry for women who have been sexually abused that we're going to serve in that ministry and just any way we can serve them, but also sharing the gospel to the people that are there. And then similar in Costa Rica, we're partnering with Hope Partners with the Hope Center that's there and doing kind of community improvement projects. I mean, there's some slums in that area. In a 1 square mile section, there's 60,000 people. I mean, it's just
it's incredible.
unbelievable. And so we're going to go into there and try to do some community engagement, like some painting and just kind of cleaning up and just while we're doing that, sharing the gospel and also doing a VBS again there for the kids so that we can share the gospel and then partnering with a local church there as well.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I've been on several missions trips and then also with my church that my wife and I attend. We work in the high school group. And
Awesome.
every year they'll take a missions trip abroad. I mean, it's still in the United States, but it's usually out of state.
Yeah.
And we just got back from one a couple of months ago, and there's no substitute for going on a mission trip.
Yeah.
To your point, for all the reasons that you listed, right?
Yeah.
You come back transformed. Even us as leaders, we come back transformed because it's a totally immersive experience. All the other distractions are gone.
Yep.
You're there for one reason only.
Yep.
And then you get back and you're like, why can't this be my day every day?
Yeah.
Right? My life every day of the week.
Yep.
So going back to you personally, mentors, influencers, who are the people that have, I guess, guided you the most in your career that you're at right now and continue to guide you the most?
Yeah, for sure. I would say when I was in college, the church I was connected to, the college pastor there, his name was Jerry Shockey. And he walked alongside me in all my struggles, my sin struggles. He walked through me, kept me accountable, and helped me overcome that. When I was going through that stuff with FCA, he was kind of my backbone to kind of help me walk through some of these things. And so he was always there. I've never seen someone more on fire with the gospel than him ever in my life. And like that, his fire, I felt like kind of gave me some fire, and I was learning from him. It's like, man, I want to be like Jerry. Like I want to do those things. And so he was someone that really, I think, started growing this heart for ministry in me as he was doing it. And he just taught me so well, like, and just a great man of God, great husband, dad. So, that would be one guy.
Yeah.
I would say, my old boss, at my last church, Peyton Coker, he's still my best friend, even though that we're 24 hours apart, and we connected so well, and he's so spiritually mature, and he loves the gospel, and he loves ministry, and I've learned so much from him, and he's just such an encouragement. He's just always there in my corner, encouraging. Encouragement's the fuel for ministry. That's what he taught me, and because ministry can be tough, like when whether it's vocational ministry or some type of nonprofit work, like it's tough. Like you're serving people, and a lot of times they're at their lowest moment, so they're probably not going to treat you as well as a normal business would. And so it can be really taxing sometimes. You come home and it's like, man, that was a hard day, and you just need that encouragement. And he's always there, just such an encouragement. We just always bouncing ideas off of each other, and because we're doing similar kind of ministries at both of our churches. So he's someone that's just always there, kind of in my corner. I would say kind of from afar, I really do learn a lot from my home church pastor back in Nashville at Long Hollow. I just learned a lot from just kind of watching how he preaches and how he ministers and how he leads his church. So just kind of from afar, I feel like he's someone I still look up to. And then right now would be, Pastor Noe. He's just such a great leader. He's really teaching me and helping me learn a lot, really working on my leadership capacity, my heart, and just all aspects that you need in ministry and just as a man of God, as a husband, as a father. And so those are some people just that are, that are walking with me.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
The reason I asked that question, obviously, it parlays into what this conversation is all about, which is the
Yeah.
impact that you're making today because of those that have also surrounded you and the impact that they have made, which now hits you, which now hits the college students, and then
Yeah.
on it goes. It's how it's supposed to work. Like, this is what we're
Yeah.
called to do,
Exactly.
is to impact the lives of those around us positively,
Yeah.
and to bring positive change. So my last round of questions for you is your marriage now.
Yeah.
How does that parlay into your ministry work? I've talked with lots of pastors over the years, and they talk about if your spouse is not completely in line and all in on what you're doing from a ministry perspective, it will not work.
Yeah.
And I know you're newly into it, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
For sure. Yeah, my wife Claire is she's besides God, she's the reason that I can do what I do. I mean, I love her so much. Best spouse in the world, I think. And what's great is that the collective loves her a lot more than me. So it's she's really the secret sauce, I think.
Yeah.
And so she's just like I'm really all in for the collective. Like sometimes it's hard for me to get my mind off of it and to kind of detox and kind of detach a little bit. But she loves it just as much. She loves these college students. Like we're having like college girls that come over to our house all the time. We're kind of close to GCU and
Yep.
she's ministering to them and she's there for them like anytime they need anything. And so she is all in there. But what's really unique about our relationship in our life right now is she also actually works at North Phoenix.
Okay.
She's a hospitality and events director at the church, and we just absolutely love working together and working at the same place together. We don't really, our paths don't really cross too much like
Sure.
professionally, but we love driving to work together. We love eating lunch together, and just we love getting to share that aspect of our life that we just get to spend so much time. And it is I think the blessing that's one blessing that's really kind of weaved into that us working together is ministry can be time consuming. It really can be. And so I never, and this is something I need to be kept accountable on, and people are keeping me accountable, is I would never put my family on the altar of my ministry where it's like I would sacrifice them just to spend more time at the collective. And that can be a challenge for me because I love the work, but I love them more. And so I never want to be blinded by that. And so by getting to work together, we get a lot more time together. So even when we're busy, we always have that time, usually if we drive to work together or eating lunch together or whatever it is. So, but to answer your question, yeah, she's the secret sauce. We just absolutely love it. We love the ministry. She loves Jesus so much. God changed her life in college too. So we know how God can move in and through college students. And so we have a passion for it so much that I think it makes us a great team, and we
100%,
love
man.
doing it. Yeah.
I love it. I mean, obviously, all the things that you mentioned there resonate, but I love just hearing about a young, healthy marriage that's working well to serve the broader community, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And you're right. Like ministry can at times, if you're not careful, it can suck you all the way in. There's always someone or something that needs more of your time.
Yeah.
But maintaining that relationship with your wife and the prioritization of your family is also pivotal as well. And seeing you guys work together is awesome.
Yeah.
We see it at the church that we work at with the high school students as well. There's certain things that I can talk to the guys about that my wife can't do, and vice versa, right?
Yeah.
And being accessible in all those ways for all the students coming in from all their life experiences is really what it's all about. At the end of the day, they want to be able to feel like they can have a conversation with you.
Exactly.
Last question for you.
Yes, sir.
So having shared your story, where you're at today, your vision, the impact, what is your message to anybody listening? And it could be a college student, it could be anybody. What is your message to them in creating their own ripple effect, if you will, in the lives of those around them?
Yeah. God is looking for a man or woman to go all in for him, for his mission, and he's just waiting. He's just waiting for you to say yes. He's just waiting for you to open your hands to let control of whatever you're trying to keep in. He's just waiting. I think he waited for me for a long time. I was letting my sin hold me back. I was letting pride hold me back. It was when I finally said yes that these ripples started happening. And it's not like me. It's just he wants to use everybody.
Right.
Like, so it's not like, oh, he's just doing that for Davis, or he's just doing that for Mark. He would do it with every single person if every person said, yes, I'm going to go all in. I think it's D.L. Moody, maybe I could be wrong on this quote that says, there's yet to be a man that has gone all in. Like, because everyone's still holding a little bit back. So it's like he's still waiting for us to there's even more of my life that I could go deeper in, but it's just taking that next step. Like, what's your next step of obedience to God? And just saying yes to that. And each step you take, it's like you're walking in a small creek. Like, every step you take, it's going to have a ripple. Like, everything that you say yes to is going to be that ripple. And you may be walking up to that creek and it feels like there's this huge ocean in front of you, and God can literally split it open for you to walk through. He's done it before, and I believe he can do it again. And so it's saying yes to God, whatever that looks like. Don't let culture stop you. Don't let sin stop you. Don't let the criticism stop you. Just, man, spend time with God, read his word, pray, love people the way he loves people, share the gospel, and just God will change the world in and through you. So
I love it, man. That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
Davis, thanks for being here today, man.
Thank you so much for having me, Mark.
It's a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, you as well.